Okay, I can see the chats now. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And welcome back to the React Essential session. I hope I'm audible, guys, everyone. I can see your charts now. I think they're little delayed today. So I can see your charts now. So good evening, everyone. Welcome back, all of you to the React Essentials. And today, again, we have a lot of things to do. Okay, yesterday we completed state, we completed how to display things, so we completed a lot of things yesterday, right? So again today we have a lot to cover, and we are also going to create a mini project in React so that you can see how it can how you can actually use React. So again, good evening everyone. Good evening Bano, Javed, Arya, Vipul. Good evening everyone. Deepak, Dinesh. Good evening guys. Good evening, and I welcome back you guys again to the React Essentials. Okay, so I really hope that you guys found the assignment and the day two files, and I'm hoping that you guys also completed it. And if you have not, don't worry about it, because 21st August is the last day of submission. So by that time, you can submit your assignments. Okay. So first of all, I'll tell you what we are going to learn today. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to learn today is the next hook, because yesterday we learned about use state hook. Okay, and we learned that it basically helps you to create a state variable, right? So today we're going to see the next hook, that is use effect, which is for a lot of people it becomes really confusing to understand the use effect hook. So that is something we'll learn today first. Okay, we'll try to understand how it works, and we'll see where we can actually use it, and then we'll move on to the project and we'll try to create the mini project that I have planned. It's a cool project that I have planned for you today. Okay, will you explain React router? Shashi, it depends on the time. If we get that much time, yes, definitely I'll explain you how the React router works. Okay, so I'm planning for it, but let's see, today is the last day, and if we get time, definitely I'll teach you how the React router works. Okay everyone, so guys, just quickly tell me everyone, are we excited for today's session? Because we have the next hook to learn, and then we are going to create a really cool mini project. So everyone, are we excited? Are we excited for the last session? Are we excited for the today's session, everyone? And are we excited for the project? Just give me some highs, just give me some cheers in the chat, guys. Show me some excitement, everyone. Come on. Please also give small description of context API. Yes, Suruchi, definitely. If we get see again, it's the last day, so if we definitely get time, I'll show you how what exactly is the React context and how it works. Okay. Sir, with respect to state, can we save object and how we can initialize the object? Today we'll see it. Shah Jignesh, today we're going to use the state variable and we're going to store objects in it. So definitely going to see it. My query, Priyanka, did you post your query in the group, Priyanka? If you have posted, don't worry. After the session, I'll see it today. Don't worry about it. Okay, Priyanka? Yes, I got it. I got it. So don't worry, Priyanka. If you have posted it, I'll see it today and I'll solve it. Don't worry. Okay. So guys, that's it. Let's get started with the things today. So yesterday we finished off at state and we learned how to create a state variable, and we used the use state hook, and we also learned that state is a special kind of variable. If you change it, the component re-renders. Okay. So that's what we learned yesterday, and let's start with the today's things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run this project. Okay. So let's simply npm start. Can you again explain the key child issue in props? Key child issue in props. That was not an issue in props. You simply have to add a key when you loop through the elements. So when you generate your elements using a loop like map, you have to give key, because you're generating the same element again and again. You're basically using the same component again and again. So you have to give it a key so that React can identify all the components generated by loops separately so that they can be unique. Okay, that's why you have to give a key. Okay, and now it is loading. So let me take the browser here. Yeah, let it load. Hi sir, yesterday's session we could have shared the whole object as prop site. Yes, Sandeep, yes. I just didn't do it because I wanted to make it simple for you guys. But today we'll do it, don't worry. Yes, Sandeep, you can share the whole object as props. Totally fine. I just did it, I just wanted to make it easier for you guys to understand at first. Today we'll share the whole object, so don't worry about it. Okay. What kind of project would be building today? I'm planning to create a movie website where basically the user will come and search for a movie, and then that movie's data will come and we can display the whole data. And when I say whole data, that means whole data, like the name, the cast, the description of the movie, how much it has earned, and what is the year, who is the director, each and every detail of the movie, what is the rating, and everything. So that's what we're going to do today. And basically, I'm going to teach you how to actually get this data from an API. So we're also going to call an API to get this movie data. I think in the last React Essential session, last time when I took React Essential session, I created a news, basically a news website where people can search for a country, and based on the country, they can get a news. Where people can search for a topic, and based on the topic, they can get the news, the newest, the latest news related to that. So I basically, it was in the last React Essentials. So for this React Essential, I have planned something new. So today the person will come, type a movie name, and then we're going to get all the details related to that movie. Is that cleared, everyone? So that's the project. That is the project. Sir, how to do CRUD operation with React JS and connection data, connect database? Okay, so in here we were only learning the front end development, but don't worry, because I think maybe in the weekend we're also going to have a Node.js session. In that thing, I'm going to show you how to actually create your server side JS, how to actually write your backend, and how to connect it to database. So don't worry about it. Okay, so I hope now we can start, everyone. So let's get started. Okay, so let me open the editor, and the project is up and running. Now we don't need the terminal, so let me close it. That's it. Now it's gone. And now the first thing that we're going to see today is the next hook. Okay, so let's get started and let's see the next hook. And the name of the next hook is, I hope everyone understood state yesterday, so we don't have to worry about that now. Okay, what is the difference between React and Node? React is basically a library. Node is basically an environment. It's a JavaScript environment. Is that clear, Aryam? Amritanshu, what is your question, buddy? Can I learn React JS? Yes, why not? You can learn React JS. Why not? If you watch the previous two videos and this video, yes, you're good to go with React. Okay, like we have almost covered all the fundamentals of React, so you're good to go with it. Okay, so guys, let's get started and let's see the next hook. Okay, the next hook that we're going to learn today is this one, use effect. And now you know what is a hook, right? It's nothing but a function. So in React, you also have something called as a use effect hook. Okay, now guys, just listen to me carefully for the next 1 minute and you will understand use effect for lifetime. Okay, so what exactly is use effect? It's a hook. That means it's a function. Okay, it's a side effect function. It is a side effect function. When I say it's a side effect function, that means it is called based on some performance in React, based on if something happens in React. For example, use effect is a hook which is called whenever your component is loaded or whenever your component is updated. Okay, that means whenever your component renders, use effect will be called by default. You are not going to call it. You are not going to call this function. You just write this function and write whatever you want inside this function. It will be called whenever your component loads. So as soon as your component loads on the browser, this use effect will be called, and whatever you have written inside it, it will be executed. And whenever the component re-renders, use effect is called again. Okay, so that's why we call it a side effect function. So whenever the component loads or whenever the component updates or renders, use effect is called. And now based on this performance, whatever you want to do inside use effect, you can pass. Okay, so if you want to perform something based on component load, if you want to perform something if the component gets re-rendered or updated, you can write that, like you can write down that code inside use effect. Is that clear, everyone? Sorry for that fumble. Okay, everyone, are we clear with this? So use effect is a function which is called whenever the component is loaded or the component is updated or re-rendered. Now, just to show you, let's write down this function. Let's write down this so that you can see how it is actually working. Okay, let's write it down. So use effect. Okay, right now let me just put it very simply. You don't need this in this case. You don't need this, and remove it. Okay, now see how simple it looks. Use effect, and inside that you're passing a simple function. Inside that you're passing a really simple function. Now for example, let's simply put a console.log. Let's say hello. Simple, hello. Now, this is a function which is present inside use effect. That means this function will be called whenever the component loads or whenever the component is updated or re-rendered. Let's see if it is actually working. Everyone, let's see if it is actually working. Nipen, it's simple. Use effect is a function which is called whenever the component is loaded. And it will be much more clear to you once you see how it is working. So let's see how it is working, then it will be perfectly cleared for you. Okay, now see, I have written use effect hook. Inside that, I'm passing a function. And as I'm saying, this function will be called whenever the component loads. So whatever code is inside this function, it will be executed whenever the component loads or whenever the component is re-rendered. Let's see if it is actually working. Save it. Now let's go here. Oh, we have not imported it, right? So you have to go here, and it again comes from the React package. So you can just put a comma here and just write use effect. Not the whole thing. You just need to import it. That's it. Done. Save it. And now refresh, and here we go. Everything is perfectly fine. How many hooks there are in React? There are a lot of hooks, but there are like really basic three: use effect, use state, and use context. These are the three basic hooks. But yes, there are multiple hooks. There are like more than three hooks. Okay. Okay, guys. And you can also create your own hooks. Now, everyone, can you guys see the hello here? See, I didn't call that use effect function. When I refresh my page, component gets loaded. And as soon as my component gets loaded, this hello is in the console. That means this function here, this function is getting executed as soon as the component is loading. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, are we clear with this? So you can see use effect is actually getting called whenever the component is loading. Now, as I told you, that it also gets called if the component re-renders. So we know whenever the state changes, the component re-renders, right? We know that. Yesterday we saw it. Whenever the state changes, the component re-renders. So if basically if I click on this button, I'm changing the state of this, what was it? Name. And it will basically re-render the component. So if changing the value of name is re-rendering the component, use effect should be called again. Let's see if it is actually happening. If I click on click, here we go. We again get the hello. That means use effect got called again. So by default, use effect is called when the component loads and also when the component is re-rendered or updated. So whenever the state changes, the component re-renders. And whenever the component re-renders, use effect is called again. Are we cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared? No, Sandeep, when you're working with classes, you don't need this use effect hook. Then in that case, you have the life cycle methods. You have component did mount, component will unmount. You have all that things. So when you're working with classes, you don't need this use effect hook. Or you even don't need the use state hook. In that case, you can simply create the state object inside the class. So if you're following the class-based approach, you don't need these hooks. So everyone, are we clear with the basic concept of use effect? Everyone, please tell me. Are we clear with the basic concept? I want everyone to answer here. Everyone. Guys, please tell me. I'm waiting for your answers, guys. Everyone, are we cleared? Guys, are we cleared? I'm still waiting. I think the charts are a little delayed today. Let me see if my live is working properly. Yes, it is. Okay, that's cool. Now I got the answers. I think the live is a little delayed today. Okay, that's great. That's great. That is great. Now, guys, now use effect doesn't end here. It has much more to it. So now in use effect, what you can do is there's also a second parameter. So after passing your function in use effect, what you can do is you can also pass an array here as a second parameter. And inside this array, you can pass any data, any kind of data. For example, I can pass name here. Okay. So now I have this function and I have this array in which I'm passing the name. Now, use effect works differently now. Now, what is the meaning of use effect is, now in this case, what use effect will do, whenever the value of name changes, then only this use effect will be called. Now, this use effect will not be called on component load or component update. Only whenever the value of name changes, this use effect will be called. That means now this use effect completely belongs to the name state variable. That's it. So you can actually define the data in use effect and tell use effect to only work for a particular variable and not for the whole component. So if you just specify an array and pass your data inside it, now the use effect will be called only if that data changes. That's it. That is it. Is that clear, everyone? So now you can also do this in use effect. Now, just to show you this, let's create one more variable. Just to show you this, actually, I have to create one more variable. So let me create one more. Like, let's say I create something called as age. Okay, and I pass set age. Let's say I pass initial value as 23. Okay, and let's say I create one more function. You don't need to create actually one more function, but let me create it for now, just for simplicity. And let's remove this console.log. We don't need it. Okay. Now let's call this function as change age. And let's say set age. So we are also changing the state of the age. Now this is just to show you that how it actually now it is working. Okay. I want to show you that now the use effect is only working for name. So let me create one more button. And let's call the change age function here. That's it. Now see how it is working. Now as I have mentioned here that now this use effect will only work for the name variable, right? Now let's also display the age. Let's also display the age so that you can see if it is changing or not. Now we know component will re-render if I change name or age. I know that. Now the component will re-render even if I change the name or even if I change the age, the component will re-render. But now you'll see that if I change age, even if the component is re-rendering, the use effect is not getting called. Now let's see it. Refresh it. Okay, now let's see. See guys. So if I change the name, here we go. We get hello. That means use effect got called. But if I change the age, see the age got changed, but we didn't get any more hellos. That means the use effect is not getting called now. The use effect is not getting called. But you saw initially when the component loaded, the use effect got called. So now in this case, it is not the component load use effect. Basically, initially, we also initialize the name, right? When the component loads for the first time, we also initialize the name, right? So in that case, when the name first initializes, this use effect is also called. So now this use effect is completely working for the name. Basically, when the name will initialize for the first time, then the use effect will be called. And when the name changes, then the use effect will be called. Now it's not for the component, it's only for the name. So basically, you can also mention, you can also create use effect like this. So if you don't mention anything, it works for the component. It works for component loading and component re-rendering. If you mention anything, now it only works for that particular variable and not for the component. So guys, are we cleared? Everyone, are we cleared with this? Everyone, please tell me. Now, depending on your need, you can use it. You can mention any variable if you want. You can remove everything if you want, depending on how you want to use your use effect hook. So everyone, please tell me, are we cleared? Everyone in the chat, please tell me, are we cleared with this? Guys, now you saw that, right? Now you saw that. Now it's not working for age. That means now it's not working for component re-render. It's only working for name. That's it. So we can use this functionality to create log file. Why not? Yes, Kevin. Why not, buddy? Yes, why not? It totally depends on you where you want to use it. Okay. Now there is one more way of using this use effect. Now you can also do this. See everyone. You can also do this. You can remove it and just pass a blank array inside use effect. You can remove everything and just pass a blank array. Now, when you pass only a blank array, what happens? So when you pass a blank array, then use effect is only called when the component gets loaded for the first time. Now it will not be called for re-rendering or for updation. Now this use effect will be only called for component loading, or you can also call it component mounting. So when the component loads for the first time, then only this use effect will be called. Otherwise, other than that, this use effect will be never called. Not for any component re-render, not for any state change. Now it will never be called again. Only first time when the component loads, it will be called. That's it. So when you pass a blank array, it works like that. Simple. Now if you see it, see, now I get my hello. That means, okay, fine. It is getting called when the component loads. Now if I change anything, see, I change name, I change age, component got re-rendered, but still we don't see any hello because this use state is only getting called once when the component is loading. Is that clear, everyone? What do we call the parameters passed in component like age and name? Which one are you asking, Nipen? What do we call the parameters passed in component? Like from where you're passing it? From where you're passing it, that depends, right? What you call. If you're passing it from other component, then it is like props, right? So everyone, are we cleared? So now, three simple ways. If you don't pass anything, it works for component load and it works for component re-render. So you change anything, component re-renders and it is getting called. If you pass a blank array, it only works for component load, only once. Okay? And if you pass any variable, then it only works for that variable. That's it. So if that variable changes, the user will be called. Otherwise, it will never be called. So guys, are we cleared? Everyone, are we cleared? Please tell me. Guys, are we cleared? Please, everyone tell me, are we cleared? Name and age, is it props? In this case, they are not props. In this case, they are normal state variables. I'm not getting them as a prop, right? I have simply created it inside the app component. I'm not passing them as a prop Nipain. In here, I'm not passing them as a prop. In here, I have simply created it. See, I have created it. I'm not passing it, right? I'm not passing it from anywhere. I'm not using props.name or props.age. I am creating it here. So they are like normal state variables inside app component. So everyone, guys, are we clear with the use effect? Sorry, everyone, is use effect cleared? Everyone, is use effect cleared? So now, depending on whatever we want to do, we can do. We can either call it on load. We can either call it on load and on any update or any re-render. We can either call it for any particular variable. So if that variable is initialized or it is changing, then use effect will be called. That's it. Use effect is inbuilt function. Yes, Shubham Jadhav. Yes, exactly. Use effect is inbuilt function. We have not created it. It's inbuilt. We are just using it. It's an inbuilt hook. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, mostly with state variables, Sandeep. Yes, exactly. Mostly with use effect is only like used with state variables because those are the variables we like change frequently. So yes, mostly use effect we call it with state variables only. Yes, Sandeep Reddy. Okay. I hope we are cleared. Is there any confusion, guys? Okay, perfect. Now, mostly this will be what you use. Like this is how you will use the use effect with a blank array because mostly you want to perform something when the component loads for the first time. Basically, in this case, today, I'm going to use state when the component loads for the first time because I want to call network. Because I want to call network and I want to call an API to get some data. So I'm going to use my use effect like this because I want to call it only once when the component loads. So that's it. So I'm going to use the blank array one. And now let's actually call network and let's see if we can get some data from the network. Okay. Set name is a function, Yogesh. Set name is a function that helps you to change the name's value. And set age is a function that helps you to change the age's value. Is that clear, Yogesh? Okay, everyone. So now in this case, you can see I'm using the use effect with the blank array. That means this use effect will be called only once when the component loads. That's it. And in this, what I want to do is, so whenever the component loads, I want to call an API. Whenever the component loads, in this case, I want to call an API to get some data. Is that clear, everyone? So can we do it? Everyone, can we do it? Can we call an API now? Everyone, please tell me. So now let's go to a fake API website that is JSON placeholder and let's see how to call an API actually. Let's see how to call an API first. Okay. So in this case, what I want to do is I want to call this API, the user's API. So this is the URL. So this is the API URL which you have to call, and this is the data that you will get. Okay. So that's it. So here we go. Take this URL and let's call this URL using the fetch API of JavaScript. So simple. Fetch. I really hope that you guys know fetch because it's basic JavaScript API. So I'm assuming that you guys know it. If you don't know it, don't worry. I'm still going to explain it. So fetch is basically an inbuilt function in JavaScript that helps you to call APIs. Okay. So this is the API URL that I want to call. JSON placeholder.typicode.com/users. Now it will return something. So once it returns, then whatever response I'm getting, I want it as JSON. So response.json. And then whatever it is returning, whatever promise it is returning, give it to me in this data variable. And here we go. I'm simply going to print the data. That's it. This is one application, Shivam Kumar. You can see when I want to call something on load application, this is one application. I wanted to call this API on load of the page. So simple. That's it. And I'm really hoping that everyone here knows a little bit of JavaScript and knows how to use fetch. So I'm using fetch directly. I'm assuming that you guys know fetch. Okay, because if you're in React, you should know the basic fetch. If you don't know, don't worry. We are simply using the fetch function of JavaScript, and we are simply calling this API URL. Okay, and whatever this API will return, then if it returns, then I'm going to get a response. Now I want it as a JSON. Then it will again return a promise. Then I'm going to use again one more dot then, and then I'll get my data. Don't worry, guys. If you want to know more about this, you can again go back to my JavaScript essentials where I have taught this, where I have taught how to use the fetch API. So if you're getting confused in using fetch API, don't worry, everyone. You can go in my previous JavaScript essentials and you can see how you can use this. Is that clear, everyone? But I'm really hoping that you guys know it. Data, which data? No. You can just give it any name. You can just give this any name. This response and this data, you can give any name. No, you can give any name. This fetch is an inbuilt function. This response and data, you can give any name. So for everyone who like if you guys don't know what is fetch and how to work with it, you can go in the previous sessions where I've actually taught the fetch from basics in the JavaScript essentials. So you guys can go there and again see how I'm going to use how I'm using the fetch API. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, are we clear with this? So now I should get my data. And again, if there is any error, I can add a catch here. So catch if there's any error. Simple. Sol.log. Where can you find your JavaScript essentials? In the same channel, just search for JavaScript essentials. That's it. You'll get it. You'll get it. Simple. Ravi Kumar Reddy, just search for JavaScript essentials in the same channel and you'll get my videos, my previous videos, and you can simply see how I'm actually using fetch there. I've explained everything about fetch. Okay. Do we have to use blank array in use effect? Is it necessary? Yes, Nipain, that's what I explained, right? See, if you don't use a blank array, if you don't use anything, what will happen? This will be called every time your component re-renders. Do you want that? That means anytime you change any state, anytime you click on a button and change the state, this fetch will be called again and again. Remember it, Nipain, what I explained. If you don't put a blank array, use effect is called every time the component is rendered. That means even if you change the state of a single thing, it will be called again. I only want to call it only once. That's why I'm passing a blank array. Is that cleared, Nipain? There are three ways, right? If you don't pass anything, it will be called for every render, every re-render, and every update. If I pass a blank array, it will be called only once when the component loads. And if I pass any data, it will be called only for that data, right? Only for that particular variable. So in this case, what I want to only call it once. That's why I'm passing blank array. So it depends. It depends on the situation, how you want to use it. Okay. Okay. Now let's save it. Let's see, do we get the data or not? So refresh. And here we go. See, guys, we get all the 10 users. That means we are able to get the data. So everyone, are we clear with this? Guys, so that's how you call an API. And I'm really suggesting you to go in the channel and search for JS essentials and try to understand how to use fetch. Because if I start explaining the fetch here, I also have to make you understand what are promises and everything. So it will be better if you search for JS essentials, go back and learn about promises, about fetch, and then come back and you can see it. Can we have multiple implementations of use effect for onload and other onload? Yes, Sandeep. Obviously, you can add multiple use effects. It totally works. It works perfectly fine. Is that clear, Sandeep? So definitely, you can use multiple use effects. It's totally fine. So guys, are we clear with calling an API? Everyone. So now this API is getting called when my component loads for the first time, and that's it. So everyone, are we cleared? Everyone, are we cleared? Guys, please tell me. And I'm not explaining the complete fetch here because I want you guys to go back in JS Essentials and watch the whole asynchronous concept where I've explained the whole asynchronous JS concept, asynchronous JavaScript, promises, and also fetch. So you can watch it there completely. Okay. Here, if I start explaining, it will take a lot of time. Okay, everyone. So are we clear with calling the API? Are we cleared with calling the API? Everyone, please tell me. Okay, so simple. Fetch. Now, if you don't know anything about fetch, don't worry. It's simple. Fetch the URL you want to call, then it returns a response. You convert it to JSON, and then again, it gives you your normal data as JS object. You can have your data. And if the calling API gives you any error, you can simply catch it. Simple. Now, so basically that was it. That was actually it. That's how you use the use effect. Okay, and this is what I'm going to use today. This is how I'm going to use the use effect today because I want to call my use effect only when the component loads. That's it. Okay. So now I was actually installing a project. So let me see if it is installed. And here we go. It is installed. So I actually installed a project named Movie Search. You can see it. I created a new project named Movie Search. So now I'm going to open this new app because I don't want to hamper this complete project because there are a lot of basics in this project, right? So I'm going to share this to you. Okay. Now let's open the new project, new fresh project. So let's close the terminal. Let's close this project. So basically I created a new project so that we don't lose anything from this project. We don't lose anything from these particular files so that I can share this to you, all the basics. That's why I've created a new folder. It actually gives you a response, Abhishek. It actually sends you back a response, and in that you have your data. So basically you take it as a JSON, and but again you want it as a JS object if you want to use it. So again it is converted into JS object. So fetch returns you a response. It's not only your data, it's a lot of things: the headers, the type of response, the status code. You simply fetch only the response from it. Okay, and then you want to convert it to JSON, so you pass this response as JSON. And again, when you call this dot, then it is converted into a JS object, and now you can use your data as a JS object. Is that clear? So by default, fetch returns a response, a complete response. Basically, it's an object. Okay, guys, let's close it. Now let's open the new project. So open folder and let's go for it. So where can we find it? I think it's on desktop. Oh yeah, it was there only. So desktop, movie search, and that's it. So now I'm opening a new project so that I don't hamper this project. It will be shared to you as it is. Okay. So movie search is the name of the new project. Okay. And everything is initial. Everything is started. See, SRC, plain SRC, all the unwanted files are also there, logo.svg, report, web vitals. In this project, I'm not going to delete it. If you want, you can delete it. I'm not deleting it. Okay. So let's run this project. Let's run this fresh project. And you guys are going to help me a lot today. You guys are going to help me a lot. So you guys have to help me a lot. Okay. Because we are starting everything from scratch in this. So npm start so that the project runs. Here we go. Day 2 files and assignments will not been. Yep. Okay. Let it run. Let it run. It will take a minute. And also till the time it is running, I'm also going to like show you which API I'm going to use today. So you guys have to like for this API, it's a free API basically. So you have to go to this site, omdbapi.com. Basically, it's an open movie database API. Okay. So in this, basically, it gives you the API endpoints that you can use. It gives you the API URLs that you can use to fetch any movie and its details. Okay. Now, remember it, guys, to use this open movie database API, you need an API key. Remember it, to use this open movie database API, you need an API key. So for that, I would suggest all of you to get your own API key. Don't use my API key. Even if you use it, it's a free API key, so it will be limited for some calls. Okay, so I would suggest you to create your own API key. It's simple. Just go on this site, okay, and here you have this option of API key. in the end. I'll zoom it for now. See, here you have the option of API key. Just click on API key. Okay. And now you don't want the Patreon one. You're not going to buy a membership. I'm simply going to use the free one. Account type free. See, 1000 daily unit. That means you can actually like 1000 daily limit. That means you can only call this API 1000 times. That's it in a day. Okay. So put your email, put your first name, last name, and whatever use it is, test, education, whatever you want to put, submit it. Then you'll get a mail in which you'll have your API key. Is that cleared? That's it. That's the whole thing you need. That's it. About the URLs, I'll tell you how to use the URL. Don't worry about that in this case. I'll tell you how to use the URL. But just to get the API key, because if you want to call this URL, you need an API key. It's the authentication that you need to call any URL from OMDB API. So just go here, put your email, put your name, last name, and whatever use you want. And on your email, you're going to get the API key. Is that clear, everyone? So that's where you can get your API key. Please, everyone, get your own API key. That will be the best for everyone. Okay, that's cool. So now here we go. Our project is up and running, and you can see the blank project here. Now let's remove everything because now we want to create our own things. So let's go in src in app.js because that's the main component, and remove everything that we don't need. So we don't need this logo.svg. Remove this comment and remove all of it. We need a blank page. That's it. Now we simply have a blank page, and let me just put like an H1 here, and let's just say hello, or let's simply say like movie search, something like this. Save it. Here we go. Now we have movie search. That's it. Okay. So everyone, can we start with our project, guys? Everyone, can we start with our project now? Please tell me. So we're going to do a lot of CSS today. Where did you get this project? Where did I get this project? Which one? I'm creating it. I didn't get it. I'm creating it. Like what is your actual question, Jaya? Can you tell me? So I just planned this project for you guys. That's it. In the last React Essentials, I actually planned a news website. In this, I just planned a movie website. That's it. Simple. Okay, so everyone, can we start? And let's make a really cool project. Let's make it look really good, and let's make something. Okay. Okay, now in this particular project, we are not going to create any more components because we don't need them. Okay, so in this particular project, we are not going to need any more components. Okay, we just are fine with the app component because we simply want a single component to be there. And also from app.css, remove it so that everything is not centered. So let's remove it. Now everything not be centered. Okay, let's go ahead and let's start creating it. So the first thing I want is I want my personal containers. So first of all, I'm putting up with the styles, guys. So div from scratch. Yeah, it's from scratch. Exactly. I'm creating it from scratch. Exactly. I planned it for you, right? So class name container. Okay, let's write some CSS for it. So let's go down here and let's just put like, so the above ones are like default CSS. Yes, I'm going to teach state and props today. I think Java, in the last sessions only, I taught you about state and props. Today, I'm directly going to use them. I'm not going to like teach you how it works. Basically, I'll tell you, don't worry. But I think in the last two sessions, I taught you guys about state and props. So if you have missed it, just go and attend the last two sessions again so that you can get a good idea about states and props. Today, we are basically using it. Okay, Java? Custom CSS. And yes, we're going to use state and props. Why not? We are going to use state and props. Without that, it will not work. Okay. So let's write our own CSS container. Let's give it a width of like 70%. Okay. And the height, don't worry about it. And for now, okay, let's give it a simple height for now. So height of 100 pixels and background color. Let's for now put a gray. Let's see if we get it. Here we go. We have it. Now I want it in center. So let's simply say margin left 10%. Oh, sorry, 15%. So basically it will go in center. Here we go. Perfect. Now I don't want this height, so remove it. I simply want a padding from top and bottom. So padding top, actually I want padding from left and right as well, but we don't need it. Only from top and bottom. So let's put a padding of 50 pixel from top, padding of 50 pixel from bottom. Okay. Can I use this for my mini project? Why not, Jaya? Obviously, this whole project is for you guys. You can use it. You can enhance it. Why not? I'm simply showing you a way. You can enhance it to much more better things. Okay. So now we have a div with padding top of 50 and padding bottom of 50. Now inside that, I want to create one more div. Okay. And I want to give it a class of pad, because I want this div to just like hold left and right padding. That's it. I'm really hoping that you guys know HTML and CSS, so you don't have to worry about understanding this, right? So pad, no width, no height, only a padding from all around of 15 pixels. That's it. Now we have a pad div as well. Now inside that, let's put our h1 and let's give it a title of movie search. Here we go. I think 50 and 50 is a like really big padding. Let's give it like 30 and 30. 30 and 30. Still a little more. Let's give it like 20 and 20. This much is fine. Okay, now the first thing I want is a search field in here. The first thing I want is a search field. So let me just go here, put up a div. Okay, and inside that, I want to create a search field. Input. Now you can style it according like in your own way. I'm simply creating a really simple looking web page. So you can style it in your own way. Okay. So input type text will work for now. So let me put like text and placeholder. Enter movie name. Guys, you can style it according to your ideas. Okay. So it's totally up to you. Now let's give it a height and width. So let me give it a class. Let me give it a class of like anything. For example, search hyphen field. Okay. So I'll give it a class of search field. Let's style it now. So search field. And let me also remove the gray. I don't need that gray background now. So remove it. Dot search field. I really hope you guys are understanding it, everyone. I really hope that everyone here is understanding the CSS. Right now, we're not doing any React. It's normal CSS. Okay, everyone. So width of 100%, height of 40 pixel, and font size of 20 pixel. Let's see how it is looking. Refresh. Oh, I think I have not saved this file. Save it as well. Yep, here we go. Now we have it, a full width input field. Now let's give it like a border radius. So border radius of like 10 pixels. And also border. So border of 1 pixel solid gray, something like that. Here we go. And I don't need an outline. So outline will be none. And I need a little bit of text indent. So text indent will be like 20 pixels. And font size, I want a little smaller. So let's put like 18 pixels. And here we go. Now we have our input field ready. So movie search, and we have a good looking input field. And below this, I want to display the whole movie information. Below this, I want to display the whole movie information. Okay. So now before everything, let's go to this open movie database API. Okay. And let's see in which format we get our data. Let's see in which format we get our data. So I'll tell you the URL first, how to write the URL. What is the URL for this? Okay. So guys, everyone focus. The URL goes like this. If you want to call the open movie database API and if you want to search any movie, The URL goes like this: https colon double slash omdbapi.com slash question mark. Then you pass a T parameter, which is title. In this, you pass the movie name. So let's say I pass The Avengers, something like that. Whatever movie you want to pass. So The Avengers. And you also have to pass your API key. In my case, I have stored my API key in a notepad. Guys, please use your own API key. That is suggested. You can also use this, but there's a limit. Okay, so now this is my API key. I just stored it so that I don't have to go to my email. And that's it. That's the URL. https colon double slash omdbapi.com slash question mark T equals to whatever movie you want, and API key is this. Now, here you can change to any movie and get any movie's information. Let's do one thing. Let's call this. Let's go in the browser. Put this URL and let's see what do we get. And here we go. See? You guys see it? We get all the information. Title: The Avengers, year 2012, rated PG-13, released 4th May 2012, runtime 143 minutes, genre action, adventure, sci-fi, director, everything, actors: Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, plot, awards, poster. You get everything. The rating, see here, you also have the rating, Rotten Tomatoes rating, IMDb rating. So you get everything about this movie. And that is the URL. Where is it? Yeah. So now https colon double slash omdbapi.com slash T equals to any movie you want. So in this case, I'm putting The Avengers. You can put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or you can put Swades, you can put PK, whatever movie you want. Remember to put the API key. That's the authentication. If you don't put it, this API will not work. So remember to put the API key. So for now, let's comment it because in future we're going to use it. So let's comment it and keep it here. So now we know that this is the URL. And this is the data you get, right? This is the data you get. Everyone, this is the data you get. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, this is the data you get. And one more thing, let's actually copy it and prettify it so that we can see what are the actual details. So you can go on the website, search for something like JSON prettifier. Okay. You get some websites which will basically format your JSON. Okay. Not this one. This site is not that good. Let's go to this one. Where is that site that I used to use a lot? Okay, let's use this one. Totally fine. Okay, so now you can simply pass your JSON here, guys. You can simply pass your JSON here, unformatted JSON, and say process. And now it will give you the same data in a good format, in a readable format. Here we go. See? I hope everyone you can see it. See now, the same data, but in a good format. So title, Avengers, year 2012, everything, actor, plot, you get language, country, awards, poster. You also get the ratings. So see, you get everything. You actually get everything. Metascore, IMDb rating, IMDb votes, IMDb ID, type, DVD, box office collection, production, website. So you get everything. And this is the data that we want to display. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, are we cleared? Please tell me, everyone, are we cleared? So you get the data like this, and we have to use this data. So we want to call this API. Everyone, we want to call this API. So are we cleared, everyone? Guys, everyone, are we cleared? Please tell me. I think the chats are a lot delayed today. Everyone? Okay, I'll wait for your answers. Now, before moving on to anything else, let's call this API. And now you guys tell me what I'm going to use to call this API. I want to call this API when the component loads. So what I'm going to use? Everyone, come on, tell me. What should we use if I want to call this API URL when my component loads? What should I use? Everyone, come on, tell me. Which function should I use? Vivek, buddy, what is your doubt? Can you tell me what is your doubt? See, guys, if you don't understand anything, don't say no. Directly tell your doubt so that we don't have to wait for another chat, right? It uses time. So instead of saying no, directly tell what is your confusion and what is your doubt. That will save us a lot of time, right? So Vivek, can you tell me what is your confusion, buddy? Till now, we have not done anything. I simply showed you that this is the API endpoint and this is the data you get. Exactly. We're going to use effect and we're also going to use fetch. Exactly. So let's do it. First of all, we have to import it. So let's import the use effect and use state both. So import, we want both of them. So I want use state and I also want use effect. And they both come from the React package. So from React. Okay. Now let's use the use effect. And first of all, I also want to declare a variable in state variable. So I want to create a variable called movie. And to change it, I have set movie. Use state. The initial value for movie will be the Avengers. That means this will be the by default movie. And now user can change it anytime. User can change it anytime. Did Vivek ask the doubt? This API is only for one film? No. You can change the name and get any other film. For example, see, in this case, I pass the Avengers. If I remove it and I pass like anything else, for example, I pass, let's say, Swades. See now, I get the information of Swades. That's what I told you, right? You pass the name, you pass the title. Now I get the information of Swades. You can pass PK, you can pass Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you can pass any movie. Okay? So now, guys, my by default movie will be the Avengers. So the value of the movie variable is the Avengers. And in future, I can use the set movie function to change the movie's value. So basically, I created a state variable called movie. And the by default value of that movie variable is the Avengers. In future, I can change the state and I can change the movie name. But that is the future. For now, let's move ahead. For now, let me close the terminal. It is taking a lot of space. Let's call the use effect. So use effect. And inside that, you have your callback function. And the second parameter is the blank array because I want to call it when it loads. That's it. So blank array. Now let's call it. So fetch. Everyone, please focus. Let me also generate the URL. So let URL equals. This is the URL, right? Here we go. Put double quotes and put your URL. So this is my URL. Simply a string. That's it. Fetch. Everyone, please focus. It's really simple, actually. So fetch whatever URL you have. I basically stored the URL in a URL variable so that it's not confusing, right? So I stored the URL in a URL variable, and here we go. Fetch the URL. You can directly pass the URL as well. If you want, you can directly pass the URL inside fetch, but I'm not doing it. I stored it in a variable, and then I'm passing it. Then simple dot then it returns a response. Cool. Get me the response. I want the JSON data from it. So response dot JSON. Now it again returns the promise. So again, one more dot then. Now whatever data it gives you, I want it in the data variable. And here we go. I'm going to print the data that I'm getting to confirm if it is working. And if there is any error, catch the error and show me the error. So again, console.log the error. Is that clear? Are we cleared, everyone? Guys, are we clear with this? So that's it. That's it. How do we keep our API key secure in our project? You simply see in your project it is secured, right? Your API key, if it is in your project, it is secured. No one can see it. If it is in your code, unless and until you're like me and showing your API key on YouTube, it is secure. Like if I don't show this project to you guys, then it is secured, right? Right? Who is asking this? Sandeep. And normally, if we like, what we do is to store our API keys, we create a separate file. And there we store all our constant things like our API key and everything, and then we use it here. So we don't directly put the API key in the coding file. Normally we store it somewhere else. But even if you put in the coding file, it's totally safe because only the coders can see it, not the normal people, right? So everyone, are we cleared? Guys, are we cleared? Please tell me. Okay, so simple. Fetch the URL, whatever response I get, convert to JSON, and then give me the data. And that's it. Now we can see if in my console I'm going to get the information of the Avengers movie. So let's save it. Now we know that this use effect will be called when the component loads. So let's save it. Okay, there's an issue. Is there an issue? Okay, there is an issue. Oh, there's one problem. Oh, we made a mistake, guys. We wrote the code outside the app. We wrote the code outside our components. Okay, so don't make this mistake. Let's go inside our component. So we made a simple mistake, guys. Really simple mistake. We didn't see it because see that this is what happens when the font size is too big. We wrote it outside the app component. Let's put it inside the app component. That's it. Oh, it is still outside. Why is that? Yeah, now it is inside. Yes, Abhijit. Yes, exactly. That was a mistake. Actually, that happened because the font size was so big that I was unable to see where is my function app. I thought it is on the upside, so I wrote the code there. Okay, and now it's clear. Save it. So basically, that I did that by mistake. That's it. Okay. Is there an issue again? Are we sure there is issue? No, there's no issue. So perfect. Now let's go in our console. Fetching is already in JSON, then why we have to specify JSON? Because Nipin, when you work with JavaScript, you don't need JSON. You need JavaScript object. So you need to convert your JSON to a JavaScript object, right? If you want to work with it, you need an object. JSON is simply a string. It looks like JS object, but it's a string. You need a JS object. You don't need the JSON. Okay. So now let's go here and here we go. See, now we have the object. So this is the JS object, Nipin. This is the JS object. If I simply print the JSON, it will be simply a string, a simple string. That's it. And we cannot treat, like we cannot use any property from the string, right? We need to convert it to object in JavaScript. Okay. And here we go. See, we got everything. Actors, awards, box office, country, DVD, everything that we want. Now we have the object. That means this data is nothing but object. Now let's give it a meaningful name. Instead of calling it data, let's call it movie. Right? Like just a meaningful name, right? Instead of calling it data, let's call it movie. Save it. Now still refresh and we should get the same movie. And here we go. Yep, here we go. See, we get the exact same thing. That's it. Now, this movie is an object which is holding all these properties. So you know how to access any property, right? So now you guys tell me from JavaScript, if I want to access the director property, what do I have to write? If I want to access the director property, guys, what do I have to write? Come on, everyone tell me. If I want to access the director property, what do I have to write? Come on, you guys answer me. Everyone, you guys have to answer me now. If I want to access the director property, what do I have to do? And don't worry, guys, there's a little delay today. That's why things are getting a little delayed. Charts and whatever I'm saying is also delayed, I think. Props.property. No, why do we need props here? Haya Zubair, we don't need any props here. We're not passing anything, right? See, movies are object, right? Movies are object. And this all data is inside the movie object. So if I want to access director, I'll simply write movie dot director, right? So D is capital. So director, that's it. Save it. And now we should get only the director. Let's see. Refresh. And yep, here we go. Joss Whedon. We get the director. Simple. Okay. So I hope we are clear with this. So here, you don't need to use props here, right? We use props only when you pass props. When you pass props to a component. Here we are simply have the movie object and we want to access a property. That's it. Yes, exactly, Kushagra. We can also use restructuring. Why not? Definitely, we can also use restructuring. Okay. Now, guys, now I want to use it somewhere else because I want to display it. So now I'm not going to print it on the console. Okay. And one more thing I made a mistake here is move this. It will be by default null. So movie object, this movie will be by default null. Okay. Now inside this movie, I want to store the movie that I've got, this one. So guys, everyone, can you guys tell me what can I do if I want to pass this movie into this state variable? Or let's call it like movie info so that there is no confusion. If there are two movies, you'll get confused. So let's call it movie info. Okay. So movie info variable, movie info state variable is normally by default null. Okay. And when I get this movie, I want to pass this movie in the movie info. So what can I call? We know how to set it, right? We simply have to call set movie info and we'll pass our movie in there, and that's it. So whatever movie we got, we passed it into the movie info state variable, and that is it. Done. Simple. So now whatever movie we got, we simply passed it to the state variable so that we can use it anywhere and we can also change it. Is that clear to everyone? So that's it. We use set movie info to set the movie into this movie info variable. So whatever movie object we got, we are passing it into the movie info state variable. So that also becomes a movie object. Simple. That also holds the movie. That's it. Done. Okay. I simply renamed it to movie info so that there is no confusion, because you'll be confused if I call this movie and this movie. If I like give same name to these two things, you'll be like getting confused. That's why I call one variable as movie info and one as normal movie. Simple. But you can also call both of them movie. Doesn't matter. If you can understand that, you can call both of them movie. Totally fine. Now we got the data, and now is the time to display it. Now is the time to display it properly in here. So we want to display the poster, we want to display the movie title and everything. So guys, let's get started and let's write some really cool details. Now let's start creating the things. So after this div, I want one more div, okay, and give it a class of movie, because in this I'm going to store everything, right? So give it a class of movie. Now let's style it. So dot movie. Okay, let's simply give it a padding. So padding of like 5 pixels. And give it a background color of gray for now. That's it. And here we go. You can see it now. And I also want to give it a margin top. So margin top of 30 pixels, so that there is a gap. Here we go. So now it's here. Now inside this, the first element I want to create is the poster element. Okay, so left side, on the left side, I'll have my poster. So div class poster, and one more div which will have a class. And sorry, I forgot here. It should be class name. Class name details. So this div will hold the poster, and this div will hold the details. Okay, all the details like the name and everything. Okay, so first of all, let's arrange them in horizontal order by using the flex boxing. So let's first of all style them. So dot poster have a height of like 500 pixels. We'll have a width of like 30%. And dot details will also have a height 500 pixels. And the width will be the remaining width, that is 70%. And let's give both of them a background color. So background color will be red for you, and background color will be green for you, so that we can see it at least. Save it. Here we go. We have the red and the green box, but I want this green box in the side. For that, we have to go to the parent, that is movie, and we have to tell him, fine, I want your elements to be in the flex direction. So display flex in the row direction. And here we go. We have the red one, we have the green one. That's perfect. That's what we wanted. Can we use Bootstrap with React.js? Yes, Fiona. Obviously, you can use it. Why not? You can definitely use it. Okay, but in this case, I'm avoiding it because like I don't want to get into that for now. So that's why I'm using the simple CSS so that everyone can understand it. Okay. So now, guys, let's also print the movie object so that at least we can see what is going on in there, because we want to read the things, right? So we need to print the object. So let's print it. Let's console.log it for some time, because we want to see what are the data in there, right? Only if we console.log it, we can see what is the data in there. Console.log the movie. so that we can see what is the data in there. Open the console. And here we go. Where's the console? Why can't I see my console? Come on, go away. Console. And don't worry about all these warnings. They will go away. Clear it. Refresh. And we should get out. Here we go. This is our object. And now let's use the things. So the first thing that we want is the poster. So do we have the poster directly? Let's see. Yes, here we go. Poster, and poster is nothing but a image URL. See, poster is nothing but a image URL. Here we go. See, it's a JPG file. So poster is nothing but an image URL. So let's use it directly with an image tag. So now here you can go inside this, put up an image tag. Okay, inside src, you can simply put movie info, that is your state variable which is holding the movie information, dot. Let's see how it is looking. Can we see the poster? And here we go. See everyone, we got the poster. The poster is not exactly the same size, but that's fine. At least we got the poster, right everyone? We at least got the poster, and that's what we wanted. And now if you want, you can give it a class and style it. So class name equals poster. So everyone, are we cleared? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared? So I simply said image tag src inside movie info state variable. We have the whole movie data. So movie info dot poster inside src, and we got the poster. Now let's give it a style of poster, and let's get some style to it. Dot poster will have a width 100%. That, and one more thing. Okay, why it is going there? Why it is going this big? Did we make a problem? Okay, I think we got the we got one simple issue, guys. See, I'll tell you what is happening here. Okay, so this error that we are getting here is not an error actually. Why we are getting it? Because see, initially, okay, everyone please focus. I think initially what is happening is movie info is null. So initially movie info is null. That means there is nothing in the movie info. Okay, and then when this use effect works properly and when this fetch is called, then we get this movie object inside the movie info. Okay, don't worry about the class. Don't worry about the class. I think that is not the problem. The problem is the data. So everyone please focus. There is one simple issue that I want to discuss with you. Okay, so what is happening here is movie info is initially null. Okay, movie info is initially null. That means there is nothing in movie info, and only when the use effect is called, only when the use effect is called, we get the data in this movie info, right? We set the data to movie info, but this html is loading prior to movie info. Like even when there is no data in movie info, this html is getting loaded, this jsx is getting loaded, and that's why the movie info is still null, and I'm trying to access the poster, and that's why I'm not getting my data. So it's like this: movie info is null. Okay, movie info is null, and html got loaded, and we are trying to access poster, but right now movie info is null, so we can't have poster, and that's why we are getting this poster of null, cannot read this thing, cannot read this poster. And after loading the html, then use effect is working and getting the data. That means without getting the data, we are simply using it. It will work sometimes if use effect is fast, and sometimes if the fetching, if the api call is slow, not the use effect, is the api call is slow, then you'll get this error. So for that, what you can do is you can simply put up, I think, a question mark in the end. No, not here actually. Let's put it here. Let's see if it is working. First of all, let me see if it is working. And here we go. It works fine. Yeah, that is the css problem. That is the css problem. Don't worry about that. That is the css problem. I'm not talking about the css problem, everyone. I am not talking about the css problem. I'm talking about that error. I'm talking about that error. Okay, so This is a one problem that we can simply solve. Don't worry about this. See, this works fine. The problem that we were not getting that movie poster was, it was going like this. First, initially movie info is null. Okay. Then use effect is calling the API. Now let's say that API is getting called slowly. The network time is like a little slower. And the JSX loads before we got the movie info. So in that case, there is no poster, and that's why there was error. So you can simply pass a question mark here after movie info that will make sure that only when the movie info has the poster, then I'll load this. Otherwise, as I'll not load this. Is that clear, everyone? So don't worry about that poster class. That was the CSS issue that we solved. The problem with the poster is this. So is that cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared? So you can simply put a question mark because initially our movie info is null. And if the API call is slow, it can cause you error because there is nothing in movie info and you're still trying to access poster. So if the HTML loads before the API call, then this might be a problem. And that's why I put a question mark here. Okay. So question mark basically makes it like optional. Fine. If it is there, display. If it is not there, don't give any errors at least. See, again, focus everyone. Movie info is initially null. Movie info is initially null. That means there is nothing in movie info. Okay. And let's say the API call is a little slow. Okay. So if the API call is slow, it is still working, but our HTML is getting loaded. And if the HTML is getting loaded, we are trying to access movie info.poster. Now you guys tell me, if the movie info is null, is there any poster property in the movie info? No. So we'll get an error that you're trying to access a property that is not there. That's why I put a question mark. That makes it optional. That makes it optional. That means if it is there, access it. If it is not there, leave it. Don't give any error. If it is optional, it's simply optional in this case. Is that clear? I hope we are clear with this, guys. I really hope we are cleared. Exactly, Zubair Shabir. Exactly. That's how I think it's not even React, it's JavaScript. It is a JavaScript thing, this question mark. Is that clear to everyone? So it simply makes it optional, this question mark. Okay, so that's it. Simple, easy. So the simple thing, think about the loading time. If API is loading a little late and the HTML is loading first, movie info is still null, right? And if I try to access poster, you're definitely going to get an error. So just to avoid that error, I put question mark. So fine. If it is not loaded, don't load it. If it is loaded, then only take it. So it makes it optional. That's it. That's it. Done. And now also to the poster class, I want to pass overflow hidden so that the image doesn't get out. And here we go. Perfect. So now we got the poster, or you can simply increase the height a little bit more. So you can like do it like this. Okay, there was already a poster, right? So you don't need this. Remove this one and put overflow hidden here. And that's it. Oh, still it going a little bigger than that, but that's fine. I think that's not an issue at all. Maybe 550. Perfect. Okay. No, it's not a ternary operator. No others. It's not a ternary operator. Ternary operator is different. Ternary operator is different. That is not a ternary operator. Okay. Now we got the poster. Now we have to display the details here. So let's go ahead and start displaying the details. And inside the details also, I'm going to create a div which will have a padding. So div, again a class name of pad, to which I have already given padding. So no need to like worry about it. And also remove the height from details. The height will depend on the content. So remove the height from details. Okay. Now let's start displaying the details. So the first thing I want to display is the title. So here we go, put an H1 and display the title. So again, movie info. Don't forget to put the question mark if it is loading late. So question mark dot. Now what is we have to see what is the property name, right? So let's open the console again. And we need to see the property name. Inside map also you can use it. You don't have to worry about it. Actually, if you use map, then you don't have to worry about it. It works normally. It works fine. It works totally fine in that case. Because it's an array in that case, right? So you have created an array. It's not a null thing. It's an array. So it works fine. If it is an array, it works fine. So you don't create a null variable. You create a blank array, right? So for map, it will definitely work. It will work normally. Okay, Mohammad Anis. So if you're using a map, that means you have created a blank array. And if it is a blank array, the loop will work. It will not cause any error. Here in this case, it was null. That means there was nothing, right? Okay. So now the title, where we have the title, guys, where we have the title. Is it title? Yeah, it is title. So let's use title. Save it and we should see the title now. Here we go. We get the title. That's what we wanted. Now, the next thing we want to display is the description. So we can display, we can display genre. We'll style it afterwards. Don't worry, we'll style it afterwards. First of all, let's display everything. So here we're going to display the genre. So let's copy this. Movie info dot genre. We're going to style it afterwards. Don't worry. For this time, let's just display everything. So now we have the genre as well. Now I want to display, let's say, the description. So I want to display the plot. So let's display a plot inside a p tag. So p, and I want to display the plot. And after that, I want to display. We can display production. Okay. After plot, I want to display the actors. Okay. So let's put it there. One more p tag. And actors. And after that, we can display box office collection because that is important. So let's put box office collection. So it is box office, BNO capital. So box office. And then we don't have, like, we're not going to display like the unwanted things. Okay. After genre, we can also display the director actually. Director. And yes, Rocket is asking how to create our own API. Don't worry. On this Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to teach that because we have a Node.js session. So I'm going to teach you. Don't worry about it. Let's display the language after box office. Then what else we can display? Release date. So let's display the release date as well. We're only displaying the important information. That's it. Release date. And finally, we need the next thing, that is runtime. Oh, sorry. What else, guys? What else we can display from here? I don't think we need anything else. We can actually display ratings, right? So should we only display the IMDb rating or all the other ratings as well? We can display all the ratings like internet IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and also Metacritic. So let's display all the three things. So now they are inside the ratings object, right? They are inside the ratings object. Inside ratings, you again have source and value. So let's display everything. Okay, first of all, let's display these things and let's see what is going on there. Here we go. We got all the things. Yes, at the end we'll display rating, but here we go. We have all the things, and let me remove the green color. Now that is not at all looking good. So let me remove the green color and also the red color. And again, we have a gray color in the background. Remove that as well. Remove the gray colors. We don't need it. And here we go. See, so now we have the title, then the genre, then director, then the plot, then the cast, then the box office, and the languages, release date. And now I think they are looking good, but let's style them a little more. Sir, can we fetch Google review data such as rating, like star? Yes, Preeti, yes. Then for that, you have to use the Google API. Can definitely fetch it. Okay, guys, now let's style them. So I want to increase the font size of all this. So let's go ahead. Dot pad Inside that, I have p tags, and for all the p tags, I want the font size of like 20 pixel. Let's see. Yeah, this much is enough. The title is here, action, adventure, sci-fi. Now we also have to mention everything, right? Like, what is it? What is Joss Whedon? He's a director, so we have to mention. Let's put up a span tag because I want to make it bold, or you can simply use the strong tag here. So strong to make it bold. Slash strong. The colon between. Now here you can go. Directed by. Let's see. Oh, wrong place, wrong place, wrong place. Here I need genre. Genre. Now in the next place I need directed by. So copy this. Go ahead, paste it, and put directed by. Then put the plot here. So plot. Past. Box office. Language. Release date. And finally, runtime. Save it. Yes, definitely, definitely you can use. Definitely. Can we also use font or some icons with them? Yes, definitely. Okay. So now guys, you can see we have everything. We have the title, we have the genre, directed by, plot, cast, box office, language, release date, and runtime. Now here at the bottom, you can also display the ratings if you want. So let's go ahead and display all the 3 ratings. Okay. So for that, at the end, I'm going to create a div here because I want to display the three ratings in line. Okay. So let me create a div here. Okay. Inside this, I want to display all the ratings. So for that, what we can do, we can create a p tag inside this, and inside that p, I want a strong tag first, just to write the name strong. Inside this, I want to display the source, so it goes like this, right? Movie info dot ratings dot source. So movie info dot ratings dot source. Let me see if we get it. Oh, it's an array, right? I think that's why we're not getting it. Rating is an array. Let me see what is the data. We have to see the data again, guys, to see how the ratings are actually looking. Let's go ahead and see first. So open this and let's see how the ratings are actually presented here. So ratings is an array. Yeah. So we have to mention, like, we cannot directly mention source. Ratings of 0. So the first element dot its source. Now let's see, we should get the first source. Are we getting it now? No, we are still not getting it. We have to see the data again. It's an array, but we have to see what is the mistake we're making here. Is ratings? Ratings is an array. Perfect. Of 0, I'll get the first object. Oh, S is capital. So S. And now we should get it. Definitely we should get it. Here we go. Internet Movie Database. That is nothing but IMDb. That's it. Okay, cool. Now, and also, let me just remove this thing from here and let me put space so that every P will have this. Perfect. And now here, I also want to put an H1. Inside this, I want to put the rating. So rating is stored inside the value, right? So put value. Let's see. Here we go. going a little down, but that's fine. Okay, we have to arrange it, I think, a little more. Let's use like H3, not H1. And also, let me remove the margin from this H1 tags. So H1, H2, H3, margin 0 pixel. Yep, perfect. This is what I wanted. Okay, see now, because H3 was having a little margin. And now copy this P, paste, paste. Second source, second value. Third source, third value. Here we go. Now we have to arrange it in a horizontal order. Okay. So now we give it a this class, we give this div a class name of ratings, and let's just give it a flex display. That's all. So dot ratings, come on, ratings display of flex, and let's see how it is looking. And also we need a little gap, so justify content space between. Yeah, almost fine. So everyone, are we clear with this? Guys, are we cleared? Now you can see we have the title, we have the genre, directed by, plot, cast, box office, the runtime, and everything. We literally have everything. We have the ratings as well. So everyone, are we cleared? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared with this? Okay, so now like you can change the effect. You can make it black and make the color white. It's totally up to you. But it's, again, it's totally up to you, right? Now let's say if I want, I can also like decrease the size of the details to like 60% and put a justify content space between. Justify content and just a little gap. And yeah, this looks good as well. This is too much actually. Let's not give it like 60. Let's give it like 65. And here we go. Perfectly fine. Looks good. So everyone, that's how you do it. And still, it's only the half project. Now we still have to complete a little more. Let me just increase the size of this actually. Size of the image. And let me just now go 600. Perfect. Now it looks perfectly fine. Okay, and now, so the first thing is done. Now we can display the movie here. So whatever movie info is there, we can display it here. But now the next thing is whatever the movie the user puts here, based on that, we want to see the movie here. Is that clear, everyone? So that is the next thing we want. Whatever movie the user puts here, based on that, we should get our movie. Is that clear? So this was the first part, guys, and now we cleared. Now let's start with the second part. It will just take 10 minutes and we'll be completing this complete project. So guys, can we move ahead now? Everyone, can we move ahead? Because now we're going to see how to read the input fields value. And also we need to create a search button. Based on that, we have to display the new movie that we have searched. So guys, can we move ahead now? Everyone, can we move ahead? And are you understanding everything till now? Guys, are we understanding everything till now? Okay, that is amazing. Now, let's move ahead. The first thing that we're going to learn is how to read the input fields value, following along with you in Bootstrap, sir. That's amazing, Debong Gamer buddy. That's amazing. Okay, so now guys, we need to read the input fields value. And for that, again, we need a variable. So again, I'm going to create a state variable for it. So I'm going to create a variable called title. So title, set title equals use state. And the by default title will be the Avengers. Okay. So now guys, I created one more state variable called title, and now it also has a function of set title if I want to change it. And inside use state, we have like the by default initial value of the title is the Avengers. Now you guys tell me, if I want, now I don't need to specify the Avengers here. Now if I want, I can also directly pass state variable title. Simple. So I have concatenated the string and this title variable. And let's see if it is still working. The initial movie. And exactly, the initial movie is still working. Okay, so because I created the title variable and the initial value of title is the Avengers, and I simply pass the title here. That's it. Now, what we have to learn is how to change this title based on the inputs value. Is that clear, everyone? So now our title is dynamic. Now we have not mentioned the Avengers statically here. Now we have created a title variable. The value is the Avengers, and we put the title variable here. Now, once I change the title, it will change and the new movie will be called. Let's see if it is working. Is that clear, everyone? Now, let's read the value. So for that, we need to create one more function to read the value of input field. So let's create a function called read title. Okay. And yeah, that's it. From here, I'm going to get the value. I forgot the function keyword. Okay. And whatever value I get, I'm going to set it. So set title value. So basically, whenever this function is called, whenever the read title will be called, whatever value I'll get, I'll set in the title. Simple. So whenever the read title is called, whatever value I'll get, I'll set to the title. That's it. Done. Now let's use this read title on this input field. So now what we have to do is we simply have to call it here. On change. So whenever the user starts typing, so on change, I want to call a function. Okay. And every function you call has an event. So inside this, I want to call the read title. And inside that, I want to pass the current value. So event dot target dot value, basic JavaScript. That's it. Now, if you see, it's simple. On change, that means whenever the user starts typing in that field, okay, I call this function, which is having the event. And then inside that function, I call the read title, in which I'm passing the event dot target dot value. That means the current input field's value. And it should go there and it should be set in title. To confirm it, let's do one thing. Instead of setting it, let's just print it. Console.log value for first time. Let's see if it is working. In the console, let's see. See here, A, B, C, whatever I write, we get it. And if I remove it, it goes away. And that's it. It's again working. So guys, focus everyone. I create a read title function in which I'll get a parameter. I create a parameter called value. Okay. And I'm just printing that value. And where am I calling it? I'm calling it on change of the input field. So whenever the data in the input field changes, a function is called, and I'm using the event object of that function inside the read title calling. So I call the read title, and whatever is the current input field's value, event.target.value, I pass it. That's it. It's basic JavaScript. It's not even React. It's simple basic JavaScript. I really hope that you guys know this event.target.value. Everyone, guys, please tell me. So whenever a change occurs on the input field, I call this complete function, okay, in which I have the event object that gives me the input field. And then inside, I call the read title function that I've created, and the argument I pass event.target.value, that is current input field's value. That's it. That's how you read an input field's value in React. So everyone, are we cleared? Guys, are we cleared? Please tell me. Everyone, please tell me, are we cleared with this? Guys? Everyone, all the people watching, everyone. I want answers from everyone. So now I'm getting my data in value, but I don't want to like just print it. I want to set it to the title because I want to create a new title. So set title value means it will go in the state title variable, right? And now I'll create one more thing, that is a search button. So let's go ahead and create a search button. Can't we have a submit button of some kind? Yes, we can definitely have it, but that's how, like, you don't work like that in React because it's basically based on JavaScript, right? So you need to extract the values. Okay, Sandeep? Get movie. Now we should have the button. Let's see if we have the button or not. Here we go. It's down here, but we don't want it here. So let's give this a class as well. So class of this seems like taking so much inputs till user types the whole. Yeah, that's how the type ahead search works, right? That's how the type ahead search works. Whenever the user types, we get the value. Simple, right? So class name, let's give it a class name of like form group, something like that, or let's call it input group. Doesn't matter in this case. And I simply want to arrange the button and the input in side by side. That's it. Let's go there. Dot input group, display of flex, and now I need to remove the bit from input. Actually, I don't want it to be 100% in this case. Let's see. Here we go. So now we can make it like 90%. Like this. Perfect. This is what I want. Simple, right? And you can also style the button if you want. Okay, it's totally up to you. Let's make it 80%. And to the input group, margin top and pixels and justify content. A lot of space. So now we need to style the button as well. So let's quickly style the button. Last name, ptn, %, maybe. So is there any way to give suggestions to the user based on typing? Yes, you can create it. Why not? You can definitely create it. We can create things like that. But again, we have to learn that, right? If I start typing, I need to go back to the database, get the related values, and then we can display it here. Yes, you can definitely do it. Why not? But again, in this, we can't do it because we need the set of data. Actually, we can do it here as well. But again, we need to create a set of data first. Okay, now let's style the button. I think it's already styled, but you can simply like give it a background color, a good looking background color. Like, I don't know, maybe blue, not the normal blue, but you can give it blue. No, not this blue. First of all, color, I want white. And I want font size to be like 20 pixels. Okay. And I don't want the border, so border none. Border radius of 10 pixels. And also outline none. And 80 maybe. Okay, let's give it a good color. It's not a good color at all. So let's take this blue and take a good blue. Like this. Copy it. Save it. Okay, and that's it. No, it's the same API, but you just pass the title and based on that, you get the movie information. Is that clear? Is that clear, Vivek? Okay, guys, so now we are almost good and there is an error. Is there an error here? Let's see. Oh, we have made a mistake somewhere, I feel. Okay, you cannot put H3 inside P. That's HTML error. So put a div here. Yes, that's HTML error. You cannot put H3 inside a P. That is something you should never do. So div. Now the error should go away. There we go. It's gone now. And that's it. We're almost done. Okay, everyone. So are we cleared, guys? Are we cleared? Now we need to create a function that will call the next API. So basically, This read title function will do what? So whenever I type something in this, like let's say I type Avengers, let's say I type Avengers Infinity War. So basically, as soon as I type it, it goes in the title. So now the data is in the title. But now when I click on the search button, I need to call the API again so that I get the new data. Is that clear, everyone? I need to call the API again so that I get the new data. So now let's do one thing. Let's create a function. Function get movie data. Okay, so I get a function called get movie data in which I pass title as parameter. So based on this title, I get the movie data. Now let's copy the exact same thing that is inside use effect. Copy the exact same thing and paste it here. Now, see, get movie data and use effect are using the exact, actually, there is no need to pass this title here actually. Is in the state, right? So it will work. Now see guys, get movie data and use effect are doing the exact same thing. So what we can do is instead of writing this code in use effect, it's already in get movie data, right? So instead of writing this code in use effect, let's simply call get movie data here. That's it. Done. That's it. So basically, you create a function called get movie data. Okay, that is doing the exact same thing. Based on URL, it is fetching something. And if you want to call the get movie data for the first time, you simply call the function once in the use effect. And normally, you call the same function also on that button. So let's go to that button. Where is that button? And here, you simply put on click equals get movie data. That's it. So simple now, because you wanted to use this code 2 times, you simply created a function called get movie data, and in which is basically calling the movie API to get the movie based on title. And also now see, you want to get movie 2 times. Once initially when the component loads. So for that thing, you have called the get movie data directly inside use effect. So for the first time, the movie will load. And next time when the user clicks on the button, so again, you have this on click. So when I click on the button, it will call the get movie data again. So I'll get the new movie data. And you know that this title keeps changing. It's a state variable, right? So it keeps changing. So whenever I type something in the input field, it will change. That's it. Doesn't it hamper the speed of the app if we write get movie data again? No, that's what we did, right? We wrote it only once. We didn't write the code twice, right? We wrote it only once because we want to call it twice. We want to call it once when it loads, and we want to call it once more when I click on the button. So that is what we have to do. There's no other option for this, right, Nipin? So it is not hampering. Actually, we remove the extra code. We know that get movie data is one thing that we want to call every time. We want to call it on load, and we also want to call it when the user clicks on button. So simply put inside use effect. Isn't it possible to call use effect on button click? No. Nope. Kumar, no, you cannot call use effect on the button. That's why we did this. Is that clear? So everyone, are we cleared? Now let's see if it is working. So yeah, the first movie is still there. First movie is still there. By default, the title's value is what? The Avengers. So by default, the title value is what? The Avengers. And basically, when the component loads, we are calling get movie data. That is basically calling this. And by default, the title is what? Avengers. Now, if I write something in this like Avengers Infinity War, now the title has changed. Now the title has changed. That means now if I click it, and now get movie data is also called again, now the title is not the Avengers. Now the title is Avengers Infinity War. So directly use the use effect on the title state. Yes, we can do that. Why not? Yeah, definitely, Mohan Krishna. Definitely. But first of all, let's do this, right? Let's do this. Then we'll move at that to again. Yes, Mohana. Yeah, you're suggesting a good thing. Exactly. Okay, guys. Now save it and let's see if it is working. Okay. So let's call this. And here we go. We have Avengers Infinity War and everything else is upon here. You can call anything like, let's say, Swades. Oh, In Swades, we don't have source. Is the data hampered in this case? Don't we have source in Swades? Let's see. We have source, right? What will happen if we make a spelling mistake while searching? Then there will be no data. Then we have to display error in that case. We'll do that as well. But see, there is a problem here, guys, that there are basically for some movies there are only two sources. For some movies there are only two sources. See, source IMDb, source Rotten Tomato. That's it. So now we have to apply a loop here. We cannot like rely on three data. See, guys, what we are doing is in here, see everyone, in here, we are simply displaying three ratings. But there's an issue. Not all the movies are having three ratings. Some movies are only having the first two. Some movies are only having the second two. So I can show how to debug the code. Yes, yes, definitely. Okay, guys, so please focus. Now see, Swades movie is not having the third rating. It's not having this third rating. It is only having two ratings. So that is one thing creating a problem. Are you guys getting my point, everyone? Are you guys getting my point? So this movie is not having three data. So this movie is only having two ratings. It's not having three ratings. So basically when I displayed three ratings, it created a problem because the third rating does not exist. So for that, what you can do is you can actually put all of this inside a loop. Guys, are we clear with the problem? Everyone, please tell me. We're almost like at the end. Are we clear with the problem? Everyone, see here. So this movie is only having this first rating, Internet Movie Database, and only the next is Rotten Tomatoes. The third rating that we have here of Metacritic is not there. Is it there? No, it's not there. See, there's no third rating. There's no Metacritic here. Okay. So in this case, what we can do is actually the simplest option will be to apply a loop. Instead of putting question mark, the simplest option will be to apply a loop. So let's do one thing. Remove it because ratings is an array, right? Ratings is an array. So we can apply a loop here instead of doing all of these things. So let's go ahead and let's apply a loop. Movies info of ratings. Ratings is an array. So we can definitely apply a loop. So if there are two data, we'll display two ratings. If there are three data, we'll display three ratings. Movie info dot ratings dot map. Inside that, we'll have one single rating at one time. And we're also going to get the index. And put this bracket here and put this div that. And now instead of using this, you can simply use rating dot source, because now we are using the array, and rating dot value. Actually, this yes, question mark will work in that case. But see, the first issue that we did is, see, ratings is an array. So the best option will be to display it using loops. You can also use question mark, but how many times you'll use? Maybe in future some movies will have 4 ratings. In that case, we're only displaying 3 ratings. Maybe in future some movies will have 5 ratings. But in that case, again, we are only displaying 3 ratings. So it's better to apply a loop so that even if there is 1 rating or 5 rating, I'll display all of them. So the better thing is to apply a loop here for ratings. And now let's see if it is working. And it still works. Now if I search for Swades, let's see. And here we go. See now, we only have 2. So it works perfectly fine. That's how it was working. Is that clear, everyone? And I think instead of using display flex, we can use the different one, because see, if display flex and justify content between is creating a lot of gap here. So let's not use this justify content. Where is that? Let's simply use like margin right. That's it. Margin right 20 pixel. Or not to the ratings. We have to go inside rating, right? Ratings div. Have a margin right 20 pixel, and that should be it. Here we go. We have the gap now. So now if movie has 2 ratings, we'll display 2 ratings. If movie has like 3 ratings, like let's say PK, we will get 2 ratings. So now see, Indian movies are mostly having 2 ratings. They are not having a Metacritic. Now if I go for like let's say Thor, see it has 3 ratings. So now that is how the array is working. So now if you have 3 ratings, 3 will work. If you have 5 ratings, there will be 5 ratings. If you have 1 rating, you will have 1 rating. Why doesn't find me have clickable UI pointer? Which find me? Which find me? Can you tell me? Sandeep Reddy? So guys, are we cleared with this? Everyone, are we cleared with this? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared? Now let's do the last thing. One last thing. But everyone, are we clear with this? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared? Now, you know one more thing. Okay, that we can actually use state only for a single variable. Okay, get me? Yes, we can do it. We can just give it a hover effect. It's a normal button, right? We are not using Bootstrap. Sandeep Reddy, we are not using Bootstrap, right? So we have to do all that stuff. We have to create the hand point, mouse pointer, and hover effects. It's not Bootstrap, right? We have created a button, so we have to do it. Now guys, please focus, everyone. Now focus on the next thing. We know that use effect can work for a single variable. So actually what we can do here is, instead of creating, like we can create this get movie data, but what we can do, actually in this case, why I did this is because I wanted, no, there's no need to do it. We are not calling it on change of title. We are calling it on the click of button. I think someone suggested, right? In this case, I didn't use it like that. I didn't pass the title here because I wanted to do it on click. That's why. So anyway, I have to create one more function for click, right? So that's why we have to go for it. Okay, there's no need, guys. There's no need. This will work. This will definitely work. There's no need to use effect in another way. This will definitely work because either ways you have to create one more function. So no need, no need, no need. Remove it, remove it. Whatever I told right now, remove it. You have to create one more function either ways. So no need to do it. Okay. Now, if you want that effect, you can like do it. The CSS, with the CSS, you can just go on the button. Where is the button? Yeah, you can do it like cursor, enter, and then up to you now. And now, yeah, the final thing. If any movie is not there, what can I do for it? Right? We get a blank thing. We get an error. So if there is no movie, we get an error. So we want to display a good looking error, not something like this. We want to display a good looking error if the movie is not there. So what can we do for it? It's simple. So first of all, what do we get? If the movie is not there, what do we get? Let's see. What do we get if the movie is not there? What is the response? Let's see, guys, what is the response? And yes, we forgot to put a key because we use a loop, right? So we have to put a key there as well. Where is that loop? Yeah, here. We have to put a key here, guys, because we have given a loop. So key. This is what we learned yesterday, right? So key index. Okay, now that error will go away. And yes, to the alt. These are some warnings, guys. Not a problem at all. Some HTML warnings that your image tag should have an alt. So let's give it an alt of poster. That's it. Okay, refresh. Yeah, the last thing, we simply have to do one last thing. That's it. That is, like, just to complete this project. What if we write some wrong movie name? What is the response do we get? Let's see. Okay, see, the response comes like this. We get something like this. Response false, error, movie not found. We get something like this, right? When it is a correct movie, we get this. When it is a wrong movie, we get this. Okay, we get movie not found. So we can use it actually. We can use it to display the error properly. So let's do it. That means if I get the movie inside the movie info object, we will get title and everything. If I don't get the movie, inside the movie info object, we'll simply get what? We will simply get, what do you call, the movie not found error. That's it. So what we can do is, just go here, above the movie element. Okay, everyone please focus what we're doing. Let me just close it for now because I want to write everything here. So now what you can do here is, guys, you can just put, I'm gonna write some JavaScript here. Okay, so movie info, okay, dot, if we get the error, if we get error, so if we get this, if we get movie info error is, let's say, equal to undefined. So if it is undefined, we are going to display the data. Okay. Okay, now I think the brackets are mismatching here. Let's go a little downside. Let's put this here. This was the problem with the brackets. Okay. Let's put everything. Where is my bracket? Yeah, now it's done. Now, where is it closing? Let me see, because I want to move it a little. Now it's perfect. And final, I simply want to display H1 that says movie not found. Now let me close it for you so that you can see what I'm doing. So everyone please focus now what I'm doing. So if inside movie info, let me see, guys, if I don't get the movie, what I'm getting as a response? Error, right? So if inside movie info, I have an error property. If it is undefined, then display the movie. If it is not undefined, then simply display movie not found. Because if I get error, that means movie is not found. Simple. Is that clear, everyone? See, we get two responses, right? Let me see, do we have on the console now? We get two responses. See, everyone, we get two responses. Either we get the movie, or if I put wrong things, second response I get is this. See, this is the second response I get. Response false, error, movie not found. That means if I get this error property, that means movie is not found. So that's what I have did here. If movie info dot error, that means if the error property is there, then simply say movie not found. If it is undefined, then display the movie. That's it. If error is not there, display the movie. If error is there, then simply display movie not found. That is it. Because either we get this response, the data, or we get this response, right? So simply I'm using this response. So if I get the error response, if I get movie info dot error, if it is undefined, that means if it is not there, display the movie. If it is there, display the H1. If it error variable is there, if error property is there, sorry, display movie not found. And that's it. Save it. Now let's see. Now remove everything. Let's search for a wrong movie now. Get a movie not found. Let's see if we get it. And here we go. Movie not found. And if I simply put like a proper movie like Thor, why are there three equal signs in condition? In JavaScript, you have a three equal signs for equality operation. Those are called as identity operator. So in JavaScript, you have it. In JavaScript, you have it. And here, guys, I have used the ternary operator. If movie info dot error is undefined, question mark, do this. Else, do this. So I've used the ternary operator here. And in JavaScript, you normally use triple equal to for equality operation, because double equal to does not check for data type. Double equal to Haya Zubair does not check for data type. Is that cleared? Yes, you will get the source code. You will get this whole project. So please, you guys have to join the community group. You will get this whole project there. You guys have to join the community group. Why undefined is used? See, focus now. If I type the movie name correctly, will I get the error property? Everyone, please tell me. If I type the movie name correctly, what do I get in movie info? I get the movie data, right? Everyone, I get the movie data. But if I type the wrong movie name, what do I get? I get response false and error, right? So I'm simply checking if error property comes as a response. If error property comes as a response, that means if it is not undefined, display the movie. But if it is, sorry, if it is undefined, that means error property is not there. Display this. Undefined simply means it's not there. So if error property does not exist, display the movie. If error property is there, if it is not undefined, display movie not found. So if it is undefined, that means it's not there. Because if I get a movie, there is no error property, then display the movie. If I get error, that means now it's there. So it's not undefined. I'll simply display movie not found. Is that cleared? Is that cleared, Deepak? Are we cleared now? So undefined in JavaScript basically says that a thing is not there. It does not exist. So undefined is a thing in JavaScript. Undefined is a type that basically says the thing is not there. Okay. And the group link is in the chat, guys. Jyotsna, can you please put the group link in the chat? Now see, guys, I just did it. If you don't want, you can just simply remove it. That's it. You can simply remove it. Now see, it's a big code actually. It's a big code. Okay. But going till here. Simple. That's it. If movie info of error is undefined, that means it's not there. Display the HTML. If it is there, display the movie not found. Simple. Jyotsna, can you please put the group? Yes, guys. So the group link is in the chat. You can join that group, and on that group only, I'm going to share everything that I did here. Okay. So I think that's it about the project now. So by default, we get the Avengers movie. And if you want, you can search any else, like any movie, and you can display it. Now it's totally up to you guys how you want to style it, how you want to make it. It's totally up to you. Okay, it is totally up to you. Okay, like for example, if you want to do it, you can also do this, guys. See, you can make it like a little more better by doing this. See what you can do. You can simply go in this container. Where is my container? Say that I want color white. So the container's color will be white. Now all the text is white. And also input fields border will also be white. White. Okay. And now what I want to do is, guys, see, I'll go to the body directly. And I'm going to give it a background color, like dark, like this. Not actually dark gray. So inspect. I want to make it a little black. So where is the body's gray? Where is the body's gray? Where is the body's gray? Go to body. Take the dark gray. You can actually make it like look like a real movie site. Like this. See, just a simple change and it looks even better. And also we're padding top of 50 pixels to it. Like this. And if you want, you can like actually also manipulate the input field. So you can just take this color and give this color as an input field background color. So just give this also a background color of this, also a color of white. That's it. You'll get something like this then. See, I can put your movie names in here and work with it. It'll be fine, right? And where's the input group? See, now it looks even more better, right? It's like a movie website, right? It's a black. And now it's totally up to you now, whatever you want to do. So once, let me see if we get this movie. Once upon a time in Hollywood. Oh, movie not found. Oh, it's once. Once. We don't have the detail for that. That's cool. What else we can search? Any movie. Sir, I'm facing a small issue. Whenever I'm searching for a movie, I'm getting the default one, that is Avengers. Can you please show the on change step once? Yes, 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 definitely. See this, Debong Gamer. Where is that button? Where is our button? I think you're not reading the value correctly. See, here we go. See this, Debong Gamer. You can see this. See. So for everyone doing along with me, this is it. So everyone, are we clear with the project, guys? Are we cleared with the project, everyone? Please tell me. Are we cleared with the project? Okay, and this project will be shared to you in the community group. So please join the community group. Okay, everyone, please join the community group. And I really hope that you understood everything. Okay, even if you have understood 70% of it, that's still great. If you practice it once, it will become a cup of tea for you. It is that simple. Okay. And let me see, why are we not getting this Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I think that movie is not available. Let's search for any other movie. Can you guys suggest me some any other movie? Um, do we get series as well? Let's see. Do we get the series as well, or it is only movies? The series. Perfect. See, so it's totally up to you. Perfect. Bahubali. Yes, someone is. Let's search for Bahubali. Why not? I hope I'm writing the spelling correctly. Bahubali. Here we go. Oh, it's old Bahubali, not the new one. Bahubali 2. Here we go. Bahubali 2, the conclusion. Okay. Suryavansham, why not? One of the most famous movies in India, right? I hope I'm writing the spelling correctly again. Okay, that's it. Last movie. Not found? Suryavansham is not found, guys. Is the spelling correct? Oh, it's SOO, not U. Now we should get it. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's it. The last movie, one of the most famous movies in India. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed the project, and I really hope that you learned everything. Okay, everyone. So I really hope that you understood. I really hope that you enjoyed. So please let me in the chat, guys. Please let me know in the chat that you understood or not, that you enjoyed or not. Please let me know in the chat, everyone. And that's it for today. And I really hope that you enjoyed this 3-day React Essentials with me. Okay. And I really hope that you want to learn more with me. So if you want, you can actually join our advanced sessions where we teach the whole full stack web development from scratch. Okay. For all the info, you can just go to letsupgrade.in and see everything. And if you don't want that, you can also take this as your Kickstarter and still continue with projects and learn React by yourself. That's also an option. It's totally up to you. And if you want to learn more with me, you can also join the advanced sessions. Or in future, I'm going to take a lot of essentials as well. So you can also join in that essentials as well. Okay. Yes, why not? You guys can take this project, create it by your own, enhance it a little, and add it in your resume. Not a problem at all. Okay. And I think the next course that I'm taking is on Saturday and Sunday. That is backend API development course. So guys, on this Saturday and Sunday, we are gonna do a backend API development course in Node.js. So I would really like to have all of you there. Rotten Tomatoes is also, Fiona, Rotten Tomatoes is also like a rating thing, right? They are a rating company. So they also give a ratings, right? Okay. So everyone, that's it for today. And I would really like to have all of you in the next lessons as well. That is on Saturday and Sunday. This Saturday and Sunday, we're also going to learn backend API development. So I would like to have all of you there. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's it. I can see everyone. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for learning with me. And this project and the assignment question will be shared in the group. Please be there. And I'll also share the assignment question. And you guys have to submit all the assignments by 21st of August. So please do that. Link to register for backend Node.js. I think just go to letsupgrade.in. You'll get the information about it. Okay. You guys have to go to letsupgrade.in. You'll get all the information about the next courses. Okay, everyone. So that's it for today. That's it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for learning everything, understanding everything, and being with me. That's it. Bye-bye, everyone. See you in the next essentials, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone.